It is another wonderful day this very morning, the 18th day of the month of October 2022. And of course, from this end of the world, Biafra land, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio, a platform that is dedicated in protecting the overall interest of our people in a time like this. I am George ONYIBE, and of course, without wasting much of your time, I need to beam the satellite on the position where we have found ourselves at this moment, and of course, encourage our people to focus on the main agenda. I want us to look at a topic I entitled this morning, the reason why Nigerians continue to rule, to have their rule over the people of Biafra. It is already explained in the current action of Nnamdi and his followers. But I wish you will understand. It will save us time. It will help us quickly to be able to galvanize our people and reposition ourselves to attain the maximum level ordained already by nature itself. This morning, I want to first of all remind us, we have found ourselves in another moment of redefining our position. And whatever we do is going to influence what will happen in the next agenda to liberate our people from Nigeria. Let us look at the issue of Nigeria first of all. Some states within the Biafran territory, like Delta State, Nnamdi State, is going to come to River State. It will affect Biafra State. It's affecting Cross River State. It's going to affect some part of Kogi State. And then, who knows, many more. And then, coming from a state that have suffered this flood, we see the response of the government towards this flood ravaging our communities. It is shocking. Not every one of our people or Nigerians understand the mindset behind a politicking flood that is killing people. They won't tell you why this flood continue to reoccur each time Cameroon opened their dam to service it. But then the man in charge of all the land within the coastal region, because when we talk about they try to take over our land, people don't understand. And our actions has not clearly delivered our message. You will not understand. The man made it clear in his speech that what is happening is a result of the negligence of your politicians, that they have warned them about this coming flood disaster. They should get ready, that they did not want to get ready. In other words, they want you to see the incompetence of your politicians, and the moment you lend out your support to agree with that rubbish they are telling you is the cause of the flood, they are going to begin to insist this is the reason why federal government is still want to take over all the land within the coastal region, within the waterfront. But the truth is, go and look at the most dilapidated, abandoned road network we have in the southeast and south Biafra land. You will see that 90% of them are trunk A road, which are supposed to be under the maintenance of the federal government. I remember from Peter Odele to Meha to Chibuike Amechi to Wike, they spent River State people's money, for instance, working on the federal road that is the responsible of the federal government. I will not talk about other states at this moment. And so if the federal government of Nigeria cannot maintain their road network, not just within the Biafran territory, but almost across the whole Nigeria, is it the waterfront they are going to maintain? Now, that is just by the way. I started by pointing out to you that this is a moment of redefining our position in the Nigerian state. And what we do is going to influence the next generation. How would it influence them? Will it be positively or would it be negatively? Now let's come back and look at another issue. We have currently the saga of Nnamdi. Let's assume a competent court jurisdiction discharged Nnamdi and acquitted him. Whether it is a court that has the right or the court that don't have the jurisdiction, it's supposed to be obeyed. But the truth is that the Nigerians and Nnamdi know the game they are playing. They're going to position you in a state where you have no choice but to accept whatever they give to you. And while they are playing with your brain, toiling with your emotion, and you are shouting, we have filed paper, you must release our leader, we must continue. Negotiation is ongoing. But you won't understand the way they function. Now go back to Chinas Anworu last broadcast. He keeps telling you about security. That yes, unknown gunman is designated to handle certain areas of security in Igbo land. He's telling you that any unknown gunman or ESM found working with pipeline security guard will be treated accordingly. And look at what he's saying. Tompolo should go and look for people to employ to guide pipeline with him. But you will not understand the implication behind the statement. I started by citing an example with what Nigerians said to be able to draw you home. Chinas Anworu lives in Kuwait, sleeps in Dubai hotel, living large, buying properties, just like Senior Nepa and the rest of them. They don't know the reality of what is happening. Now, all these statements you are seeing, on one hand, the legal team are telling you, we are releasing him, we will not agree, he will go to heaven court, we will sue them to the world. All these are room to perfect the exchange. And now, this is how it's going to be. If you think they are not going to release Nnamdi, then think again. Everything Nnamdi have done all these years was politically motivated. We couldn't fix it. We couldn't get to the truth on time. And the moment he knew we have found out, that is when we become saboteur. Which I, Judge ONYIBE, gladly accepted. Because I'd rather be a saboteur. I'd rather be a saboteur instead of to be part of that process. So what am I saying in effect? Is Nnamdi now a pipeline security man? Are Chinas Anworu and others trying to have their own pipeline contract? Because the last time I checked, they are vying to be pipeline security. But is it bad thing if they make Nnamdi a pipeline security man? It's not bad. If Asare can see it as a good job and is living good life, Tompolo can love it and is doing it, why won't Nnamdi love it? Why will anybody condemn them for Nnamdi for taking up pipeline security? He would have told us. Those who will follow him will still follow him. But today, he knows that is how they are going to settle him. Ohaji Egbema, Imo State. Asandoke, Abia State. All the oil well within those houses. Anambra State. Nnamdi is going to be awarded the contract of security pipeline. They need their ESM unknown government to be around to protect the pipeline. That is what we died for. That is what we bled for. That is why our lives were made miserable. That is why most of you come out. And then when he collects his own share, what happens? He's through within Abuja and come home when he likes. Have you not noticed almost a year now, the family are no longer in Biafra land? They are no more in Afaribeku. Mugus and monkeys sweeping Afaribeku. They now live in Abuja, heart of the zoo. And they are enjoying it. They are enjoying it. almost everybody who have gone before now to fight in our defense, they end up being compensated indirectly without our knowledge. And then what happened at the end? We are suppressed a little further, and then they continue. And so when you hear them say, our target is stomach infrastructure, they know what they are saying. When then now the Kano end up as a pipeline security, forget about that thing they are telling you. Trace back their statement regarding bunkering in Biafra land. Check back their statement regarding pipeline security for about a year and 6 months. You will discover that there is something you don't know, but we are watching. Now the Kano cannot lead our people to their death because they want to be a pipeline security. You should not destroy the image of Biafra because you want to guide pipeline. For your information, go and check Ateke boys. Go and check Tompolo boys. Go and check Asare boys. If I'm not mistaken, almost 60% of all of them have Igbo youth as their general, as their men. And those people are highly paid, properly taken care of. Except those who will be sabotaged along the line. And so, if we don't have a job, and these people are providing job for them, why would that be a headache to Nnamdi Kanu and China Sanwo-Olu? What about the Igbo man in charge of security pipeline in Imo State? Did they not kill him and burnt over 100 people because of pipeline issue? So who is going to tell me that for 10 years, for Nnamdi Kanu to be a security pipeline man, we now tool on the street for Biafra? Now understand, we speak in a language we don't expect you to understand. But I want you to follow the statement of China Sanwo-Olu regarding pipeline security. You will know where they are heading to. You think Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for Biafra? Begin to think. You are going to think for a very long time. The game is over. The stage is set. He's just looking for a landing ground position where he can still stay among us, claim his angel, mislead those he can mislead. And now, these are the reasons why Nigeria continues to rule over us. When somebody rose up in South Africa to speak against apartheid, this was Nelson Mandela. He held his ground. He refused to move for 27 years. I can't imagine it. For 27 years, he held his ground. Most people believe that Nelson Mandela died in that cause. That the man who later died as Nelson Mandela was not Nelson Mandela, but his double. I don't go into those issues because I've not been able to verify it. And then in case you are asking, how did I get the information? One of my younger brother is in South Africa. He's married to a South African woman. He has South African children. He was in IPOB before. When Nnamdi Kanu become a criminal, I asked them to disassociate. Most South Africans know this truth. But whether Nelson Mandela died in Liberty Prison or he later was the man who died and we say it's Nelson Mandela, the truth is that the issue of apartheid is subdued. Politically, South Africans are free, remaining economical. Why was it possible? The man refused to change. Today, everybody is afraid to associate with Nnamdi Kanu. Because tomorrow he will tell you, Hausa, they are evil, they are Fulani Janjaweed. Tomorrow he will tell you, no, there is one exception, Hausa man. El-Rufai is my good friend. The next day he will tell you, Yoruba are not to be trusted. They are chameleon. Abandon them. And then the next month he will tell you, FFK is my brother, is my in-law. In the morning, he will tell you, curse all the pastor, abuse them, they are evil. The next time, Father Mbaka is his godfather. The same person will tell you all the politicians are criminal, they are our problem. But yet, every night he's going from one backyard of politicians to another. begging all of them money. The one he can't beg money, he will blackmail them. The same person will tell you, Anyana a joker, Anyana Agwarose, but he sent us to different oaths, Shrine and Aruchuku, to give us oath to swear. The same person will tell you, we want to protect the life of our people, but he have his unknown gunmen killing his people. The same person tell you, we are here to protect our economic status, but the same person is telling you, sit at home. The same person will say, we are protecting our people, but they are the one terrorizing their people. But the question should be, is it because Nnamdi now want to guide pipeline so he can be collecting his own money? That is why we came out here. Those who are behind this negotiation, have you considered how the next generation will view us, considering the mindset they have for us before now? Have you considered how they will see your children? Now, what you are not considering or you are not putting at heart is that you listening to me now, you know your father. And I'm sure you know almost everything your father knows. And if for any reason you are not able to attend to the level of his knowledge regarding his vicinity and the Nigerian state, at least you have 90% idea of what your father knows. And then I want you to look back at those your children. Do they know what you know? Do they know what you know about Nigeria? Do they know? And you that knows everything your father know, what kill your father want to kill you? Imagine your son that don't know what you know. What is their hope? Let us understand, this thing is not about one man. Oh. This thing is not about one community. Oh. This thing is not about Igbo people. Oh. This thing is not about saboteurs like me. Oh. This thing is about the overall interest of the Biafran people. If you like, you be Doma, Egala, Eyala, you be Urobo, Ishekiri, you be Ibibu, Efik, Anan, you be Igbo, you be Anyoma, you be Otueke, Abua, Adua, Ahoda, you be anybody within this region. They are destroying us already. We are their food. And so we should understand what happened to our children. The last time I checked, you have more Igbos, for instance, living in diaspora than living in the homeland. And majority of them, I'm happy for them, their children can speak their language. But majority of them, their children don't even know where they come from. If we fail them, are they the one going to come back? To come and fight for what is being destroyed by our negligence? Or if my children believe that we have been set up by people like Nnamdi, and one of your sons divinely led to liberate our people, do you think my people in the village will support your son? That is why when we are doing what we are doing, I am begging you for the love of God. Let us apply our heart to reasoning. I don't give a hoot whether you love me or you hate me. My intention is to pass a message and it will get to everybody. One way or the other, we may not be here. You will accept it. We are telling you the truth. Obedient people, continue. I cannot castigate you. Most especially when you are ordinary obedient. I love you. Yoruba Wosa, you are obedient because you are obedient. You are obedient because you love Nigerian to be restructured. You are obedient because you want normal human being to rule Nigeria. You are obedient because you are tired of criminals in the corridor of power. I love you. But you are obedient of Nnamdi, you are obedient of any other freedom fighting group. You people are part of our problem. Because you leave us no choice to retreat. Because come to look at it in the normal sense. In the normal circumstance. In its reality. Go and look at a video. I will post the video later on. The president of France, Macron, welcoming the president of Gabon. A man who wants to die in power. Tinubu is even stronger than him. The man can't stand. But France wanting to become the president of Gabon. And then somebody is saying Tinubu is sick. Tinubu is a heady man compared to the president of Gabon. If France will allow such man to be ruling normal human being like us, don't you think Britain is kind to allow even Tinubu to rule you? Let us define our mission. Let us define our purpose. There are a lot of spectators. And that is why the Bible in Hebrew said, he said, we are surrounded by huge, loud crowd of witnesses. If we know we are surrounded by such crowd of witnesses, let us therefore with patience and endurance run this race that is set before us. Betrayal will be there. Setback will be there. Disappointment will be there. And so many, too numerous to mention. But it's okay. We didn't choose it. Certainly we may not choose when we were born, but we can choose when we will die. The people of Biafra, our life is being redefined. Let us be on our guard. Let us be on our guard. Reading between the lines. This time is discharged. He's not discharged. He's discharged. They are perfecting the arrangement of political solution. The next thing you will hear is when they come back now, they will tell you, okay, let's tell you how it is. Now the Kanu is discharged and acquitted, but he will not leave Abuja, and then he start receiving his own pipeline security. But you won't have the guts to say it because you think you are protecting your own Igbo brother. But that protecting you are protecting him will shut all of us up. Let me give you a little insight. When Din Chukwuemeka Ojukwu, in preparation to return from exile, Din Chukwuemeka Ojukwu father owns Nigerian Port Authority. Din Chukwuemeka Ojukwu father owns Nigerian Bully Camp in Port Harcourt. Din Chukwuemeka Ojukwu father owns so many companies. Are we talking about UTC? Are we talking about so many company transportation and otherwise? Nigerian government seized all of them. When Ojukwu came back, they told him they can't give it back to him again. But they were a way to settle the whole issue. And how did they settle the whole issue? Go and find out the reason they built toll gates around the whole federation, if I'm not mistaken. And find out who collected the money from those toll gates. It's not on the faces of social newspaper. And then for a while, Ojukwu kept quiet. Bori Camp can never belong to him again. A cross-section of Nigerian Port Authority that belongs to his father is gone. Everything is gone. Imagine if Ojukwu father investment was converted into a family business. Today, Ojukwu family will be known all over the world like the Hebrew family, who actually owns Zero Contractor, Oceanic Bank before it was destroyed by Obasanjo, to mention but a few. Is it a forbidden thing that one of us have a family business that is trending? Does P2B father not have a family business? I am begging you for the love of God. You may not be able to fight against this system, but do not aid and abet them. Most of you are afraid you can't fight Nnamdi Kanu. Please don't support him to destroy all that is left of us. Majority of you are in government position. You cannot fight against Nigeria. We know. But don't support Nigeria to destroy us. Let us save the next generation. It is because of all these things. Somebody go behind and collect money. The same person will come out and tell you those who are fighting to defend you have collected money. That is why we are here. That is why Nigerians continue to rule us. They think we are not serious. How many of you know that the head of Nigerian defense is Abo man? The man in charge of defense in Nigeria is Abo man. How many of you know? What impact is he making? Are they not kidnapping our people? Are they not killing our people? How many of you know the role our people play within the Nigerian context of economy? and otherwise. Where are their inputs? Peter Obi, for instance, is very careful the way he projects himself because they will mess him up. And when they mess him up, IPOB will rejoice. Oh, yes, we told him, serve the zoo and come back in shame. But then those of us who serve IPOB, we almost come back in shame. Just that there is no shame in the womb that gave birth to us. Let us not settle for less. I understand those clamoring for restructure, the Bill of Rights, resource control, constitutional amendment, devolution of power. All of them are saying the same thing with those of us who are calling for Biafra. And in a nutshell this morning, I tell you, a restructured Nigeria is good as Biafra. But in the absence of all these things, it is Biafra or Biafra. Watching Nnamdi and their listen drama. They are not telling you, oh, this money we are going to cut, we are going to put DSL, we are going to allow you. They are perfecting documents for the transaction. Don't let them deceive you. At least almost 2 weeks now, they have kept your brain dormant. They call him on then can you kill it one Amara no online. Onu we here the men no bili no. And you ramanya and you book and you yeshiba kwa yeshiboni. Ele yako wane wu wakare kwa new. Utele ra choka na egwo no mari here many. Kana ye buku wa pese no. Shapo na enyo no homa o. Nwende nkenyu men we son na the kano. Work away Mahana and the Kano and you here by me, Imali you. And the way me and you can just up a daily worker. Can in a shop when you lend you many whereas allo ishibogon. Can I when you male who work for Nigeria? Can him when you just school while being here? Nay, any work and nay, no kimewe, no gone. So that anyone who didn't any when any one day Nigeria. Onye mara kwe ha ya agwa n'ọrụ ari ishi no lese were akpa yo ne ko ha mo no ndewo no mo Biafra ka ọ dịzịa